Happy Monday and happy Memorial Day for those of you who are celebrating it. Task and I are here for our weekly update tonight. I had a miss last week because I had some stuff going on, so here we are again. And hey, Taskmaster, how you been?
Just plugging along on Leo threads. Evidently, according to a thread by Cal, June 1st, we will be bug free on Leo AI, which bug free is 99% bug free. It's um, clear up most of them, which the site's running better. There's still some issues, but it seems to be running a little bit better for the most part. So they're making progress there. That's a positive.
How are the polls doing? Like, are they like,
They keep, they do updates. So, I mean, they came back. They got half SQL got updated, so they came back. And as of this morning, though, they had disappeared again. So I don't know. It's hard to tell when they're doing so many updates and they update stuff and fix stuff and break other stuff. And I sent a feedback today. What the hell did I find? It was kind of strange. I don't remember, but I sent a feedback. So, there's still stuff out there, but that there's always going to be stuff out there. It's just a question of whether your major experience is affected. And I mean, polls disappear and reappear, and that's a pain in the ass. But at least they're there. They're there. And um, the thing is we're still limited in the search, and they're not doing any upgrades or feature ads. So hopefully, going forward, they do something to improve the search and improve the tags. And I did go through a bunch of tags the other day and for polls, and voted in a bunch of polls. But I don't think most people go through any of the tags.
I noticed I was putting the live news feeds for news on Leo, but the
Mhm.
tag wasn't the amount of posts and the tag wasn't going up. Is that just
Well, it takes a while to go through, and it's the last 24 hours. So ones from yesterday may have dropped off at a quicker pace than they
okay?
added. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, it's not an exact science.
Mm-hmm. I did notice recently that in the party time threadcast that it was I can see the song threads on my desktop or my laptop now, where I wasn't able to see them before unless I reduced the screen quite a bit. And they're not like jumping like when you scrolled before, they were jumping all over the place.
Yeah, they improve some of the stability to the platform. So I have to give them credit there on that, without a doubt. The threadcasts are a little stable. They're scrolling on the main page was similar, where once in a while we get locked up after 5 or 7 or 10 or something. You scroll down and it's nothing else added. I haven't seen that in a week or so. So they're attacking some of that stuff, which I think is important.
He has a few people working on that too, doesn't he? Like,
I don't know what the developer numbers look like. Last I heard, there was about a dozen developers. I don't know if it's gone up or down. It's been some time, and he had one developer who's like a fix it developer, very knowledgeable about this type of stuff. But he may have directed other developers onto it. I don't know. It's, I guess that might be something to ask on the AMA if he'd answer it. Um, Not that, not that I really am not worried about it. I think the problem is going to come, and my view is the problem with INLEO is it's a piece of crap social media platform, and if you fix the bugs, which they're doing, you still got a piece of crap social media platform, and it's not the platform itself that's the problem. If they fix the bugs, the platform will be stable. Okay, may say, well, it doesn't have this feature, that feature, fine. But That's always going to be the case. The problem is the activity. The problem is, okay, you get the UI stable, that's good, but it's social media. Where's the social engagement? Where's the social activity? And so we still have that issue of, okay, great. So they build a stable UI. They build the UI that works. Wonderful. What does that mean? If nobody's using it, what's the difference? And we see this with Hive time and time again. And it's like, I mean, no, if people just say, well, we need the whales to do this, or the witnesses to do that, or the developers to do this. And it's like, well, what the hell are you doing?
And what are they going to do it for?
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, it's what the hell do you want block trades to do? I mean, honestly, what do you want them to do? Him and his team are hard away built working on half and working on the base layer coding and doing all that stuff. What the hell do you want them to do? We know the answer. It's upload my posts, but outside of that, it's somebody like Cal needs to be on threads every day because his engagement has an oversized impact. And I mean, he's a hub and he needs to be on there. It's just like Elon Musk on Twitter. Elon Musk posts something on Twitter, it gets more views, more comments, more likes, more reexes or whatever the hell they call it, anybody else, because it's Elon Musk. And yeah, you might have a Kardashian up there. Yeah, you might have J Lo, or you might have who knows who. Well, I don't know, Mr. Beast on there, but you have different people who are huge on Twitter, but none of them are Elon. And Elon, oh, by the way, also so happens to on the platform. So that's really what needs to happen. I mean, that's a Web3 thing that Elon's doing, because most CEOs of companies, I mean, you can't find them. You can't get a hold of them. You can't engage in them and interact with them. I mean, maybe at a shareholder meeting, and that's if you're a big shareholder. So,
right.
Good luck even finding out where you can engage with the CEO of Coca-Cola or Home Depot or something.
I don't even know who they are.
Well, I mean, I know like NVIDIA, it's Jensen Wang. I never know how to say his name. Wang, I guess it is. But how are you going to find him? I mean, I mean, maybe he's on X, maybe he replies on X, but I wouldn't think so. And I've never seen him around to the degree that Elon is. And I don't expect that, but that just shows you how much it stands out. But with somebody like Cal, I do expect it, because it's like, it comes back to what we've discussed for months now. What these people are doing is not working. It's a total failure. So you look at the growth numbers, and I went through it on Friday's Lions Den. I don't know if you were able to catch that episode.
I heard the replay. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you look at where we were in June of 2023. Now we're entering June of 2024, and the numbers are down. The number of visitors monthly down. The number of page views down. The number of threads, which are threads in common, down. And down significantly. So what are you talking about? I mean, it's what you're doing isn't working. So try something else. And I think the problem is you have a social media application. Everybody's trying to focus in on another social media platform. That makes no sense. It's like Elon Musk being a major shareholder in Tesla and going and driving a Ford. What the fuck? I mean, really, it's like, do you own your own house? Yeah. So do you sleep in your neighbor's house? No. I mean, that's the same principle. Why would I sleep in my neighbor's house? Well, why the hell would you have a social media platform and spend all your time on another one? I mean, it's just totally moronic to me, but.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't at all. It's this idea of marketing is
And
it's
like we keep saying, what are you marketing?
well, it's not only what are you marketing, it's like even if you have a great product, which you don't, the fact that social media and nobody's on it makes it a shit product. I mean that's the problem, and you know it comes back to the old not taking ownership. I don't care what you post on threads, just post a lot of stuff. I don't care what it is. Post what you like. I mean, you're posting live feeds of news. I mean, I don't think anybody would watch them, and they don't up. They have to be updated every day. So to me, that seems like a lot of non-sticky work. But
Yeah,
that's
it is. And I'm like, what am I doing all this for?
it's a waste of time, to be honest
Mhm.
with you. Unless it could be automated, it's non-sticky work. I mean, if you could put it in a container, but even in a container, then you got to repeat it each day. I've thought about that. I was doing that for a while too, and it's like this is just if it was like you post it once and it's just like a live feed for the next 30 days, okay, that's cool. But they go for about 12 hours, then it freezes up, which, you got 12 hours of content on there on each of those. But again, it's,
You got to do it every day.
well, not only that, it's like if I go after what you posted a week ago, it's news that's a week old. Who cares? Um, that's again the dilemma with news is that you have to keep updating it every day. You have to keep filling news on Leo every day. But unfortunately, you got to do it every day because it's not sticky. Whatever you posted yesterday, most likely is pretty much gone. It's like the golfer who killed himself. That was news 2 days ago. Now you post it. It's like, okay, that's old news. He's been dead for 2 days. I mean, Bill Walton died. Okay, there's news. But tomorrow or or Wednesday, by then it's like, why are you posting that? No, of course, everybody knows he's dead. What are you going to post next? Kennedy was shot. I mean, it's like, okay. I mean, it's news for about 48 hours, and it's a part of history. And how many times you have to post the same history? Um, so that's where you get into. We need this fresh stuff. We need the stuff that is. I'll use the term service. It's information that people want. People want the news. People want to know what's going on. We want people to get what's going on from Leo, but we also need the sticky stuff that can be searched at some point. So it's a combination of it. And, I'm just hoping, I'm hoping the next major focus is Leo AI, and they roll that out. And I don't even care what it looks like. It's just get it rolling out, get it going. Um, and that's what I would do.
And now Leo AI would be
I
what?
don't know exactly how it'll be configured. It'll be an LLM. I presume it would probably be a fork of, let's say, Llama 3 or one of the open source models. Um, but maybe not. Maybe they'll go with the Chat GPT. I don't know how they'll do it. And then what will do is what they're doing is they're doing an SLM, a small language model with Leo data. And I know the threads were fed in. I presume the blog posts are being fed in too. And so what that'll do is that will give you um, the ability to do more specific prompting for Leo and in turn Hive related stuff. So if I Google search how many threads has Taskmaster done, I'm not getting anything. If I Google search how many articles has Taskmaster done since January 1st, 2020, I'm not getting anything. It's my understanding if I do that with Leo AI, it will tell me, at least based upon what I've fed into Leo. It may not, if I posted something through recency, that may not appear, but then again, it might. I don't know if they're feeding other Hive data in, but at least you'll be able to pull up some of that. Now, the question is without knowing what LLM they're using, but if they're going with like OpenAI, are some of those features available? I don't know. I don't know what else can be built. Have to see how that is when it comes out. But as I said in a post, you could even start thinking about a two-tier billing system with this, and you could have Leo Premium for 10 HBD a month. And then as you develop more of your AI capabilities, you could charge another 5 or 10 HBD per month for that. Have some basics in the regular premium, but go for a little more money with the more advanced stuff. Um, but I think that's really going to be your selling point for Leo Premium is Leo AI, giving people access to LLM features, especially giving them SLM where they can pull data for Hive. And then you start to look at something that is a very valuable tool for people on Hive and people on Leo in particular. And that's again where screw the looking out the outside. You got to look inside and appealing to the people who use Leo and slowly growing the Leo user base. And then feeding some of those Leo people in the Leo decks and just starting the process and starting the flywheel. I mean, that's my view where you go.
So, like, LLM is large language model, SLM is small language model. What's the difference between the two?
Well, large language model is what Llama 3 is. It's what Grok is. It's what Grok with a K. It's what Gemini is by Google. It's what Claude is by Anthropic. OpenAI, ChatGPT is a large language model. They're big in size. They're neural network training. They're very general. A small language model could be anything from, okay, we're going to take all the research papers, or we're going to take case law for real estate, and we're going to do a small language model on real estate case law. And so now what they do is they take the large language model and then they feed in, they being whoever's doing the small language model, they'll do they'll use, let's say Llama 3 because that's open source. They'll take Llama 3 and they'll contour that to doing a small language model. I guess they could do theoretically OpenAI. I don't know how that would have to be designed, but basically what you're doing is you're feeding in your own data. And so if you want to do a language model that you're creating a company or you're creating an app that you sell to all real estate attorneys, as an example, that may be one thing you do. You could do it for a company. So, for example, Amazon announced a new conversationalist Alexa, and it's something they're going to release at an unspecified date. It'll have additional costs. It will not be covered under Amazon Prime, so maybe $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever. And it'll be a conversational piece. So it'll be Alexa, but you can talk to it and have conversations. And that will obviously, and I presume since they invested $4 billion, I presume they're going to use Claude from Anthropic. They will feed Claude in, or they'll take Claude. That'll be the language model. So the ability to use the generative AI and predict where you're going to go to have the conversation. But then what Amazon will do is Amazon will feed in, I presume, they'll feed in the individual customer information. So if I'm an Amazon user and I pay them for Alexa on steroids or whatever the hell they call it, and I pay $20 a month, I'll not only be able to talk to this like what's going on with the weather, what's the temperature going to be like tomorrow, what's the 5 day forecast, what time does the Penguin hockey game start, who won the Best Actor award for the Golden Globes in 1997. I could also sit there and say, when is my package due? How much have I spent this month with Amazon? What is the price of um, you know 6 boxes of soda, Pepsi? Okay, order me two cases of Pepsi, two Diet Pepsi, and I don't know, two others that whatever the hell Pepsi makes, Mountain Dew
Uh-huh.
or whatever, and it'll place those orders. So that would be considered more of a small language model because they're specifying it, and you can get it down even further and further to, if you're a medium sized company and you're processing your own data, that's what the small language models, from what I understand, can do. And so then, um, like what they introduced with chat GPT 4.0. One of the things that basically that if that was a true demonstration and it wasn't a fudging, if there really does have the capability, what they did is they basically just took and nuked every call center there is with people, because this is a conversational AI. And so what if I'm let's say Verizon, and I have 3 call centers located throughout the United States, let's say, what I could do is I could take my data based upon the calls, based upon my information, based upon what people ask. I mean, what do people ask if they call Verizon? What are your new plans? Why am I paying so much? When's my plan expire? When's my contract expire? Why did I go over? How many minutes do I get? All this stuff. And so it's like any customer service. You get like 90% of your questions are all the same damn questions. And then
And
you
then
get,
it's script.
yeah, and it's scripted, and then the 10% that fall outside of it, they go to human. I mean, in fact, chatbots have replaced this. I mean, chatbots have been around a long time. I mean, you go up to the cable company, you log onto their site, you're not talking to a person. You say you engage with the chatbot, and the chatbot answers like 90% of the questions. It's an instant messenger with a chatbot, and so if you ask it, well, what is what's the plan on, high speed internet? It'll tell you. How much do I save if I add phone into that versus pay price separately, or all these different questions. The chatbot, and then if the chatbot can't answer, it'll say, well, you better call customer service. So
Right. We had that.
yeah, so what you have happening is they've already been downsizing this. Well, now what this does is it just talks back, and based upon the lawsuit against OpenAI, it's evidently Scarlett Johansson talking back at you. So, I mean that's just some of the stuff this technology can do. So, how Leo is going to incorporate all of this, I don't know. I have a feeling, and I hate to say this, but unfortunately, and he's much more knowledgeable about technical stuff. So we have kind of a butting of heads, if you will, or not a butting of heads, but a different perspective. I'm
Hmm.
nowhere near as technical as Cal. Nowhere near as technical as nearly anybody. I'm Gen X. I'm not technical, but I am very technologically inclined, and
Uh-huh.
I have a feeling Cal is looking too small, and I hope he's not. But I hope he has big plans, because quite frankly, I am convinced if you are not, and it'll be in there, so there will be AI, but I think you have to look at massively, massively expanding your tentacles to really make it worthwhile. And when I say massively expanding your tentacles, I'll give you an example. He posted some screenshots of what Gemini is doing with Google Maps, and Google incorporated Gemini into Google Maps. And now somebody did like some screenshots of 5 things that he was playing around with Google Maps, and it was amazing some of the stuff you could do. I mean, it pulled up. It didn't only pull up where the airport is and what shops were in there. It brought you up with pictures and a video, not a video, but like you were moving through. It was like
Oh
a
yeah, 360 thing or whatever.
yeah, something like that, and all that stuff, and something like that. I mean, I don't know if it could be incorporated into Leo AI, but see, those are the things that, and of course, there's a cost. So you have to consider this. You have to consider the cost of prompting, and if it is a situation, that's why I say maybe you have to have a second layer where, okay, you get Leo Premium and it includes these and these features, but then you want Leo AI extended or advanced. It's going to cost you another 10 HBD a month. Um, but if you start to incorporate stuff like that, all of a sudden you might find that it's like you just vastly expand your offering and the value of your service. And you can charge more money for it because you have so much built into there. Um, these are just, and I have a feeling it's going to be tied. There was something, I forget what it was, but now that I'm talking my way through it, I'm going to guess this is tied to Chat GPT. If I had to guess.
Is that because it's the most common?
I have a feeling to be honest with you, I have a feeling it's because the answer to your question is yes. I have a feeling it's what Cal and some of the other developers are probably most familiar with. It was the first one. They've been playing with it the most. To their credit, OpenAI has been advancing things very rapidly and adding more layers and more things and more features, and getting them out in the open like ChatGPT 4.0, not 4.0, but 4.0
Okay,
with an O, not a zero.
right.
Uh, and that was, I mean, it has translation in it. It has all that stuff. And maybe that's also something that client, um, you build in a client that allows for posts to be instantly translated. I mean, so that could be also something. So, I mean, I know News to Threads uses OpenAI. I know the idea of making your posts automatically a thread storm. That was going to use OpenAI. It never worked, but that was going to use OpenAI. So I have a feeling, if I had to guess, it's going to be OpenAI.
OpenAI or Chat GPT.
Well, OpenAI made ChatGPT.
Okay,
OpenAI is the company. It's like,
all right.
it's like Gemini is Google. So it's like, okay, if you say Google,
And
it's
Microsoft is Windows.
well, but Microsoft uses OpenAI because Microsoft dumped 3 or 4 billion into OpenAI, and OpenAI goes on Azure, which is um, Microsoft's cloud service. So, it's kind of like Amazon and Anthropic, which makes Claude, are so closely related. And $4 billion of Amazon money made its way into Anthropic. Um, Microsoft and OpenAI are very, very cozy, and that's why, Bing uses ChatGPT technology, and a lot of what they're doing is tied to uh, OpenAI. But so, or ChatGPT, which is OpenAI, and because they have so much money invested in it, it just makes sense, and that's what you're seeing. Uh, Elon started XAI. Elon owns Tesla. You get a Twitter Blue or Twitter Premium or X Premium subscription for $10 or whatever it costs. You now get Grok, so you get a chatbot for included. And I don't know if that. I mean, it's a private company, so you'll never know. I mean, unless Elon announces it, you'll never know. But I would imagine that probably. I mean, it added a great deal of value to people's um, subscription. I don't know how it works. I don't. I'd imagine there's some type of prompting within X. I don't spend enough time on there to know one way or another. But I mean, it's pretty cool, I would imagine, if you're sitting there uh, doing your tweeting, and it's like, well, let me double check. Was Abraham Lincoln president in 1860? And so you say, what years did Abraham Lincoln was president? And if you could do that right on Twitter, on X, and get the answer, and then say, okay, yeah, I was wrong. It was so and so. You fix your tweet with before you even hit send. Plus, you never left the platform. Plus, you just took a search away from Google. So there's a lot of advantages to it.
Yeah, wow. And
And
that's what we want to see on
on Leo,
Leo.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's like, if that's incorporated into your Leo Premium, as I've said from day one, and I'm glad Cal recognized it, because I've watched Amazon for years, and I've watched it from the technological angle. So the flywheel and stuff like that he started talking about is nothing new. And Amazon, it's to the point where if you don't have Amazon Prime, if you're any type of Amazon user, you're a moron. I mean, I don't have Amazon Prime because I buy from Amazon maybe once a year, twice a year. I'm just not an Amazon user. But I know a lot of people who are, and it's like they all have Prime because, if nothing else, the free delivery, it almost pays for that. Then you get the Amazon Prime Video, and okay, you can't get everything on Amazon Prime. You can't view everything. Some of it's you pay for the movie, or you pay for the show, but there's a lot of stuff on there that you can watch. Then you
They
got,
have a lot of free content.
yeah,
We
then
have
you
it.
got the music and all this other stuff. And I mean, I just don't pay for any of this crap, because I mean, I sit and watch Tubi. I mean, what do I care? I mean, it's free. It's over the internet. Okay. I mean, see, I got into this dispute with somebody, and he was talking nonsense, as people do. And it's amazing how people think they're logical and they're just being foolish. And it's like, the gist was, well, people are paying a lot more because they have so many streaming services. And it's like, well, that may be true, but that doesn't mean that there's not deflation. Just because somebody's an asshole and needs to have 10 streaming services, you know, I can go to YouTube, I can go to Tubi, I can go to Netflix and pay whatever Netflix costs, $13, $15, whatever they cost. I can have a Netflix subscription, and I could watch 168 hours per week, which is the number of hours in a week, never sleep, and by the end of the month, still not have gone through all the Netflix content. So why do I need anything more than Netflix if there's more content on there than I have hours to view? Now, people say, well, I might want to see this show. I might want to see that. Well, tough. It was like tough. I mean, you and I grew up in the Stone Age of television. There were times where it's like, you were even when you got cable, you're scrolling through and it's like, oh, cool, look, I want to see this, and it's like, then you look, it's like a channel you don't have. It's like, guess what? You don't get to see it. Tough. Pick from what you get. You don't get those channels. Oh, why don't we get HBO? Because it costs more. Choose from the non-HBO stuff, and that's just the way it was. I mean,
And we didn't even have cable. Like,
well, yeah. I mean, you go far enough back, you didn't. I mean, I was lucky. I grew up near New York City, so I got like 7 channels, including PBS. One of them being PBS. But yeah, I mean, you go into most areas of the United States in the 1970s, you're talking 3, maybe 4 channels. You had the 3 networks and maybe some local thing, maybe PBS. So maybe you had 5.
mhm.
It was just,
Yeah, we're between Chicago and Milwaukee, so we had Chicago PBS and we had Milwaukee PBS, and then the ABC, CBS, and NBC.
yeah, no, that was about it. I mean, and you might have had a local affiliate if you were lucky. Um, we had a couple of them, but I mean that's just how it was. So again, when you look at how technology is changing things, and I wrote again before this show, I wrote another article about Hollywood. I mean, that's a dying duck right before our eyes. This, I've never seen in my 25 years watching technological trends. I've never seen anything this public that many people are aware of. The retail apocalypse was public, but most of us didn't catch on for a while. And even those who did, who were earlier than the rest of the people before the term retail apocalypse became, um, part of the nomenclature, it was hard to see because, I mean, shopping malls, there's not a lot out there about shopping malls unless you start to go to like the Simon Group's annual or quarterly report and stuff like that. Once in a while, articles would show up about stores abandoning the malls, department stores, and stuff like that. But with what's going on with Hollywood, I mean, it's just even this weekend. Lowest opening, Memorial Day weekend top film. I forget, it was the Mad Max Part 4 or whatever.
Oh, Furiosa or whatever.
Yeah. This is the lowest opening Memorial Day weekend top grosser in like 40 years. 40 years. Not 4 years, 40. And the opening day weekend total, at least through Sunday's numbers, were down 40% from last year. Last year's overall year, I don't know exactly how Memorial Day matched up to the Memorial Day the previous year, 2022, but 2023 was 22% down from 2022. And now if 2024 is down, okay, let's say 40 is a little excessive. Maybe that's just the Memorial Day weekend. But what if you get another 20% hit this year at the box office? This thing is a dying duck right before our eyes. And I didn't do the research. I did the research after I posted the article. Each day on TikTok, which I would say 99% of that shit is filmed on a phone. 99.99% of it on a smartphone, not even a laptop. 197 million hours viewed each day on TikTok.
On TikTok.
197 million hours. That's a lot. Okay, not all of that would be watching ABC, NBC, Netflix, regular TV, or streaming, because people watch that while they're sitting at the doc's office or whatever. But Insta Reels, is it called? I think it's called Instant Reels. 17 million hours per day. YouTube has 30,000 hours of video uploaded every day. Every day it's uploaded. I didn't look at how many hours of viewing YouTube has. I saw one stat, though, that said YouTube, with the amount of video that's uploaded in 2 days, if just, I think it was 0.1% was of decent quality, was of high quality, that would be more video of high quality than television hours in an entire year, produced in an entire year. So this just shows how the sheer numbers are skewed in the direction of these entities. And this is why I've been such a proponent about Leo shorts, about us taking stuff on 3Speak and uploading it to 3Speak and posting it on Leo again, because there is so much, there's so many hours that you're going to pull away from these mainstream entities. And it's great to embed YouTube videos. The problem with that is you're still feeding YouTube.
Well, yeah, because they're still getting the views. I mean,
they're still getting the views, which is fine because it's there, the repository. So it's not a bad deal. But the thing is if we can mix in a lot of 3Speak stuff and get Web3 and get that on Leo, because what happened is I checked one of the videos in my LE account, and it got like 4 views, but it was a 15-minute video. I'm like, well, that's an hour. presuming those people watched it all the way through. But let's say they did. That's 1 hour that they're watching Three Speak. They're not watching something else. And that's how you shift the game is you keep putting more and more stuff that people watch on Leo and tied maybe to Three Speak. And I understand you're not going to, I mean, I guess you could. You could download an episode of Three's Company and then upload it, or download a song and upload it to Three Speak. I guess you could do that, but that's entering, some
Copyright issues. Yeah.
yeah, copyright issues. But it's just we can create. I mean, the idea of creating a short, if you create it out for TikTok, create it for Three Speak, create it for Leo. Anybody can take their phone and go take a picture, take a 90-second or a 60-second video of his cat, her cat, or a duck walking by, or turtles swimming in the pond, or whatever people do TikTok videos on. That's just one
I
way.
wish we could download and share what goes through our yard every night and what we see on our security camera. I mean, we see little families of raccoons going through, and we have had possums, we've had skunks go through.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool to have stream that. Just
But it doesn't allow us to download that stuff, and I don't know why. It's not really high end security. It's just a security camera to have something up there. So, I mean, our neighbors don't really bother us, but you never know.
yeah. I mean, but there's just so many opportunities, and this is where Leo falls short. That's why I did the entire Lion's Den the other day on content, because it's until people start doing this stuff on Leo, it's all for naught. I mean, Cal can create the most exquisite application in the world. If people aren't doing this stuff, then there's no engagement. There's nothing to engage with. And unfortunately, the problem with threads is right now, if it's not on the latest, it doesn't get seen. And that needs to change. And that needs to change quickly through advanced search, through better use of tags, through whatever, so that you can take this older content and get it recognized, that it can be get more clicks. And that's what we need to do. And that's what Three Speak needs to do. That's what everything needs to do.
So you're saying that the latest feed doesn't really update that quickly?
No, it updates fine, but the problem is if you don't see it on latest, it's not being seen. Something you posted 2 days ago probably is not being found. It's not going to be. I mean, unless I go like to your account and scroll down through 2 days worth of threads, which may be very easy to do. It may not be easy to do depending on how active you are. And maybe you post something with a poll. So if I scroll through polls, but again, if you get to the point where there's a lot of polls up there, who's going to scroll through 300 polls? There needs to be a better way to search this content. For you is fine, but I mean, it's just maybe that's an article. Maybe that's a topic of an article.
How do they determine what goes in the For You feed?
It's an algorithm. I don't know what's put in the algorithm. I have no idea. But it's an algorithm. But that's where like the recommend engines come in, and that's where if you click on a thread, there should be another thread recommended. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do to I mean, if there's a 1.5 million threads, why are we only dealing with 20 threads? Because that's basically what you're dealing with is you got 1.5 million threads, but you're dealing with the 20 that are on the latest feed at any given time, or maybe 10. And really, that's what it comes down to. Okay, wow. You'll deal with what is in your notification, so you're replying back and forth, but that's about it. And so we need to improve that. I think I just talked myself into another topic on an article. So I think that's really where an area of focus needs to be.
Yeah, going back like the Amazon, we have the box, the Alexa. Like when my husband says Alexa, it says "Good morning, Roy," because
Yeah.
it has
Well,
his voice.
yeah. Well, it's you know. I mean, people say, "Oh, well, there's privacy," and then they have an Alexa. It's like you realize that thing's listening to everything you say and do,
Oh,
and recording everything you say and do. It's so it's. I mean, this is just how people are. They get upset about stuff, and it's like, oh well, Twitter's selling our data. It's not your data; it's their data. I created it. Yeah, you created it on their platform, on their server. It's their data. They're not
did you
stealing
read
it.
the
They own
terms
it.
of service?
Well, they own it. It's their damn platform. Their platform. It's like you coming in and me coming into your house and calling it my sofa. It's not my sofa. It's your sofa. It's your house. It's the idea that you own any of this stuff, but then they'll bring in Alexa, and it's like that thing's listening to everything you do.
Yeah, we know.
Jeff Bezos is listening to everything you do. I mean, he's not because he's out of company, but you get my point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just. But then again, your phone is just 85 different companies are tracking everything on your phone. So I mean it's but these are things that I take a look at in terms of Leo, and it's like, where's the focus? And the focus by whom? The focus by the development team and the Leo team, but then there's the focus of the community. And it's like, I think it's an epidemic across Hive. Too many expect everybody else to do something. And it's like, well, the whales need to do something. Well, no, they don't. And it's like, well, we all got to go on social media, Web2 social media and talk about Hive. It's like, why?
I've never gotten that.
It's dumb. It's
Never
dumb.
have.
It's the dumbest thing in the world. And it's a cancer for Hive. And these people say they're on Hive. They're not on Hive. Look at their account. You don't post on Hive. You're not on Hive. I mean, that's just the way it is. And it's the internal versus external content argument. And I stand alone. I'm very vocal about it. And I'll probably end up going over it again on the next town hall, which is a week from today. And it's the same shit. And Leo's following the same cancerous thought.
So the focus really needs to be making what you have better.
Yes, it's time to shut the hell up. It really is time to shut the hell up because there's too much over promising and under delivering. There's too much vaporware. Just shut the hell up and build. That's all you need to do. And just keep growing what you have in front of you. And that's it. And take the thousand follower concept and apply it to Leo. And whatever it is, 235 premium. I figure there's probably another 50 to 100 people above and beyond premium who are dedicated. They just, for whatever reason, don't have premium. They can't afford it, whatever. Okay, fine. So you're looking at 300, maybe 350 people. There's your baseline. There's your starting point. Focus on them. Enrich the experience for them. Make them more active. Incentivize them to be active. Badger them. Use that as your baseline. And then you worry about getting that to 1,000 later. But they're not going to do it. They're going to do the same stupid shit and wonder why it fails. I mean, I spent more years in sales and marketing than Cal's been alive. I mean, and I don't mean
God,
to
that's
say that like I'm an all-knowing old codger, but shit, I mean, I wrote marketing plans before the internet. I mean, I wrote press releases when you actually called up the newspaper to figure out how they wanted it spaced and faxed it over to them. That's what we used to do. There was no internet. There was no e-marketing. There was no social media. And, things have changed, but a lot of things didn't. And one of the things that didn't change is where are your metrics?
yeah. I mean, the basic principles are the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like I said on the lines then. Rule number one of marketing: great marketing of a shit product puts you in the express lane to bankruptcy. That's what it does, because you'll get all kinds of people trying your product and it sucks. And what happens? They leave and they don't come back. And they tell their friends that it
Yeah.
sucks.
And they tell their friends right quick.
Yep. Yep. That is the truth. So, yeah, people on average, it's 7 to 1. For every one person who tells somebody else about or I guess it's for every one person that somebody will tell about a positive experience, they'll tell 7 people about a negative experience. Bad news spreads a lot quicker than good news. So,
Well, that's why you have people like when you buy a product on Amazon and you don't like it and put them, they will do everything they can to get you to change that review, like offer something free or offer
oh
to give
yeah,
you.
oh yeah, because people look for those negative reviews, and yeah, and that's one thing why I agreed with the Wavio concept of decentralizing the comments because and product reviews, because how the hell do you know? I mean, we don't know what type of bots Amazon runs on there. We don't know. Amazon may have their own product, and so they go to a competitor's not a competitor's, but they go to an individual's product, and they'll just put up negative reviews with their bot, and then they'll go to their own product, and they'll just put up all kinds of great reviews with their bot. So that made a lot of sense to me, but I don't know. It's to me if I and I'm going to make this point known. I don't know how, I don't know when, but the opportunity will be made known. It's time to shut up. Just build. You got Leo Dex, shut up, leave it, focus on the next thing. Get a plethora of products, get the people using it, get the people here growing with it, get them more involved, get them more active, and you'll grow.
Yeah, I mean, how did we ever shop without reviews? I mean, now like when we're looking for something online, we'll sit and read all these reviews, and it's like, and then do you really know if the people?
No, the reviews are worthless because who the hell knows? It's like it could be all bots. You don't know. It's again. I mean, Amazon could bot their website. I'm sure they do. Their rankings, their votes. Who the hell knows? Why would Amazon do that? Well, if they're making $5 off this product and $20 off the other product, and it's almost the same product, they got an incentive to push people to the other product, to the $20 profit product. So they'll bot it. So it's yeah, it's review sites have the issue that you are at the mercy of the review site. And maybe they're ethical, maybe they're honest, maybe they don't change their stuff, but you just don't know.
And sometimes it's more confusing to read the reviews than it is to just. But like if it's a more expensive product, we're like, and then we just wait. We don't buy it right away because.
Yeah, I mean, it's, how did we do it before? We just went and bought it and hoped. I mean, it's, Maybe you ask around, hey, have you ever bought this product? And if it was expensive, maybe you went and read like a consumer reports on if it was like a car or something like that. Um, but yeah, there was that's the thing that people don't realize is the access to information is just way beyond what people could comprehend, and people don't understand the deflationary nature of information compared to 40 years ago. It was nothing.
Yeah, you didn't know, and then you only had so much time to take it back to the store, and who's gonna, depending on what it is, who's gonna schlep it back to the store or have somebody come and pick it up and take it out the house?
Yeah, well, there was it was a much slower time. It was a much slower time, and that's another deflationary force people overlook. It's like you had to do anything. You got in your car and you drove, and that cost you time. It cost you gas. It cost you wear and tear on your tires. It costs wear and tear on the roads. Now you order from Amazon. Well, the Amazon truck's in your neighborhood, so I mean, depending on where you live, but if you're in a reasonably populated area, that Amazon truck's going to be in your neighborhood. So the Amazon truck has to go one street over. Well, that's a lot less gas. That's a lot less of everything as compared to you getting in your vehicle and driving 15 minutes or 20 minutes to the mall and then driving back. It's people don't realize how all that stuff adds up. Now they're even doing it, at least by me, with groceries. Hell, Kroger in one town I know, they don't even have any stores. They're not in the area, but they have delivery because they went and set up some warehouses. And so you could download the app. I guess they charge $5, $10, $20 a year, something for the app, whatever. And you order your groceries and they deliver them right to your house. But they have no stores. They got Publix, they got Winn Dixie, they got whatever, but there are no Krogers. But there's a huge warehouse, and they just run trucks out of it. So
Well,
just
see,
think how cost effective it was for Kroger to penetrate that market, since they don't have to pay for retail space, they pay for warehouse space and trucks.
wow, yeah, because Kroger has a couple. So they have Pick and Save here, and Albertsons in Texas, where my sister-in-law lived. And yeah, they don't even send out a physical sale flyer anymore. You either shop, online on the app, or you have to go to the store to get the hard copy sale flyer and then bring it back to the house and look through the sale flyer to make the list and then go back to the store.
Yeah, well, it's these companies aren't sending that stuff out because it's archaic. It's it's and what happens when you have an AI assistant that just if you have three different stores you shop at and you feed in what the list is, it will order from the store that has the cheapest, and you'll just get deliveries from three different stores. But each store, if you need peanut butter, well, it's cheaper over at store A, but you got eggs coming from store B, you got meat from store C, because this is where the cheapest was.
And see,
And
that's what we did, like with the sale flyer. We get the sale flyers in the
yeah,
mail, and
you'd have to manually go through and figure out who had the sales and who had the BOGOs and who had the best offer, and balance three different grocery stores and say, okay, I got my list from each store. Now I can go buy what I need. Well, that's time consuming. Why can't a bot just do the whole thing? It has all the prices in the apps. It takes a look at the three apps, and you feed in what you need, and it gives you three choice. It just chooses. Okay, I need apples. Okay, well, dozen apples at companies at store B is they're running a sale, so we get the apples from store B. I mean, that's where I think AI is going to really change things. Hopefully, it'll be through Leo.
And that'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've hit our hour. Thank you for showing up tonight.
Okay.
Have a nice rest of your evening. We'll see you all next week.
Ciao.
Bye.